there, welcome to my music studio. I'm Elisa, and this is the practice with me video to go along with lesson 1. So if you haven't seen lesson 1, you might want to give that a shot just because I explained some of the technical stuff, and this is really designed to be your practice session. I think that practicing is one of the most important parts of learning to play the viola or the violin or really any instrument that people play. How to practice is one of the things that will make or break someone's progress. So that's what this is for. That's why I'm here, is to help you practice. So anyway, let's get into it. For lesson 1, we went over the pinky push-up, windmill exercise, and the open string song on both the upper half and the lower half of the bow specifically. And we sort of put it all together in the whole bow at the end of the video, and maybe we'll do that a little bit today. But I do encourage people in their practice to just do one half first, just until you get used to it, because there's a lot to keep in mind there. So, okay, we're gonna get right into it. So I'm gonna put my instrument down. We're gonna go for our pinky push-up and maybe a little bit of some can-can too. So I'm holding the bow in my left hand, and I'm taking my right hand fingers, and I'm going to be very careful and intentional about where I put them. So curved thumb, curved pinky. These fingers being curved is super, super important. Curve that thumb, place the index finger over the bow here, these two over the eye of the frog, which is this circle part, and the curved pinky right here, right on top. Okay, so that's our bow hold. We talked a little bit about, like, if you want to make this A-OK sign, or sorry, A-OK sign, that will help you find where to keep the thumb here. Okay, so here we are. Let's do our pinky push-up, okay? And we're gonna do 10. And since this is our practice session, I'm thinking maybe let's do 10 of the curved pinky push-up, and then 10 all the way to straight. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so when we're doing this, you want to make sure that this ring finger here is really on the bow and not involved in this movement, because one of the things we're trying to do is kind of like separate these nerves of these two fingers. So this is coming up, and this finger is staying nice and down here on the bow. Okay, great job. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. We've got a little bit of workout going on, okay? You might break a sweat. Okay, so now we're gonna do the straight pinky push-up, okay? So here we go. Round 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Maybe if you're feeling up for it, let's try a little can-can, okay? Oh, see, I feel this when I do this. It's kind of incredible. Okay, so here we go. Ready for our can-can song. So the movement, I'm going to review. We go up, curved, straight, curve, down, up, curve, straight in the opposite direction, curve, down. Okay, so it looks kind of like this. And now we're going to sing the song. Here we go. I should have reviewed the song before doing this. I didn't. So I'm just going by memory. Here we go. Can. Okay, ready, go. Can you do the can you do the can you do the can, da 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 da, can you do the can you do the can you do the can, da 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 da, wee. Okay, good. So If you're really gung-ho about getting super strong fingers going, because the back of the hand is usually pretty weak and it just takes a while to get used to that, I would recommend doing that one at least every day, if not a couple times a day. I know that's a lot, but it does pay off. And it doesn't take very long. If you take like a solid like minute and a half to just do a couple of these. Oh, you can even also do it on like a pencil. And let me just take a minute to find a pencil and show you that. So even if you don't have your bow around, if you're sitting at a desk waiting, maybe you're in the car not driving, or just something, and you've got a pencil, and you're like, oh, I know what I can do right now. I can work on the back of my hand strength. So you can hold your pencil just like you would a bow, just like this. Make sure your thumb is nice and curved, and you can do your pinky push-ups. OMG, look at that. You can even do your can-can song. So if you want to pause the video and grab a pencil and just give this a try, all the power to you. But I'm going to do the can-can song again, this time with my pencil. Here we go. Can you do the 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 can you do wee. Okay, see, I don't even need a bow. I don't even need that. I can do all kinds of stuff just with whatever is around. Okay, so now we're back on to exercise number 2. So we've got our windmill exercise. And oh, I put on a ladybug earlier for our upper half, lower half. That's coming soon. Hopefully it will stay on there. Okay, so we've got our windmill exercise, and keep in mind this is the one that's a little bit more challenging. I would say it takes people usually a couple months to be able to do this one like exactly how we're intending. So do it in phases, okay? It's okay if when you're doing this, you kind of just come up just a little bit. And I wish I was a little taller at the moment so you could see the bottom of my bow here. But you can just sort of go a little bit. If this is a little bit too much, that's totally fine. Like I said before, you really just want to be slow, steady, and make sure that your body alignment is really good. So we've got our arm out straight here. And how we got there is we just do a little check. Okay, I'm like nice and straight. And then zombie arms, the palm face down. And then, let's see, put that bow in the hand. Give it a nice turn here. So the palm of the hand is facing this way. And the top of the hand is facing that way. And our bow is pointed down. I'm not like forcing it down. It's just gravity is sort of holding it there. And then the pinky is nice and curved. And that's the key part here. This is the golden nugget right there. That key curved pinky. And then we're going to just use that pinky muscle to go parallel, just like that. Okay, nice and slow. And if you want to go just a little bit, that's great. Do just a little bit. And really avoiding this. Okay, I don't know if you could see the difference here. My fingers aren't moving a whole lot. I'm mostly just getting the bow parallel with my arm. So the arm should be pretty straight. And you're probably going to feel this. This is like all kinds of muscle strength happening right here in this movement. So let's just do it now. Let's do it like 10 times, okay? 10 is, why not, a good number, I guess. So here we go. I'm going to go nice and slow through this and make sure your shoulders nice and lowered. Here we go. Ready? 1. Nice up, down. 2. 3. I hope you can see what I'm doing. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Oh, 9. Last one. 10. Good job. Shake it out, shake it out. I feel that when I do that. It's good. It's good exercise. Okay, so now I would imagine that your hand and your arm are feeling a little bit warmed up. And now let's go ahead and grab our viola and play some notes. So, when we're putting our instrument on our shoulder, again, a little bit of a review. We want to be nice and straight up and down here, square shoulders. Place the instrument on the shoulder. Look at that scroll. This is the scroll here. If I didn't explain that before, this end thing here, this very pretty thing is the scroll. Look at that, and then just drop your head down here. Okay, and then hopefully you are able to hold it there. And like I said before, I'm sure there are other videos where you can watch to get your setup a little bit better in this area if it's not working out for you. You basically want to have a shoulder rest that's big enough to fill this space here between your chin and your collarbone and your shoulder. Okay, so let's do this. We're doing our open strings, and we're going to start with the lower half. And just to review, lower half movement is from the shoulder with the elbow coming back like this. And we want our arm to be nice and relaxed and trying not to lift the bow and being nice and slow, steady with a good contact point. And the contact point is where the bow touches the string here like this. Okay, so we're here nice in the middle here. We're going to do our open string song. Actually, you know what? I'm doing this wrong. We should do some warm up on each string, okay? This is the play with me. This is your practice session, so let's do it right. Okay, so each string, hang out there a little bit. So I'm just going to play. Oh, no, it's good. My sticker's there. I was like, no, ladybug, no. No, it's there. I just couldn't see it for a second. Okay, so D string, we're just going to play it, get to know it a little bit, lower half. Here we go. Just to your middle point. And I do encourage you getting a little sticker or something to put on your bow to keep you in line and keep you honest to actually be playing the upper half or the lower half. Okay, so when I'm doing this, I'm getting my shoulders down. Whoops, I gotta do that beginner thumb. Sorry about that. Thumb is curved, pinky is curved. These fingers are wrapped around the bow. Trying not to hit other strings, right? So you might experiment a little bit trying to make sure that you're playing just the one string. So we're just playing the D string right now. We're getting to know it. Just sort of going back and forth. Down bow, up bow, not lifting. I'm just sort of pushing and pulling. Little push, little pull down. Always kind of a heavy arm. Letting the bow rest on the string. Okay, that's good for D. Let's go on to, now let's do some G string. Here we go. Same thing, but you might notice that maybe your elbow is a little bit higher. It's got to be a little bit higher in order to not hit the other strings. Again, sinking down with the shoulder and the elbow. Always thinking about my checklist of my fingers. We've got my thumb, pinky, index, 2 middle fingers, making sure they're where you want them to be. And I'm playing on the side of my hair, and I can sort of see that. The hair is at a nice angle here. Okay, and now let's do the A string next. Okay, here we go. So the A string is a little tricky because you want that elbow to be probably because your bow isn't quite in the string enough. So to get a little bit more in the string, you want to lean into that index finger. We get a lot of power from this index finger here, sort of corkscrew movement this way. So nice in the string. Lean into that index finger as you go up the bow. All right, and then last but not least, we've got our C string. Here we go. Nice and heavy arm, but maybe the arm elbow is probably the highest out of all the strings. Here we go. Nice breath in, breathe out. What each string wants in terms of like how much weight to put into the string, how fast to move the arm. But right now we're kind of slow, steady, nothing too crazy here. Just back and forth, trying not to lift the bow, pull, push. Okay, great. So now let's go ahead and do our open string song after we just did a little bit of a warm up. So we're gonna do lower half of the bow, all the strings across. We're gonna play each string 2 times. And then when we get to that A string, we're gonna do it again 2 times and then back. Okay, here we go. Ready? Making sure our alignment is all nice and set up. Curve that thumb, curve that pinky. Here we go, breathe in. Breathe out. All the way to my sticker. I'm going to change strings. Great job. Let's do it again just for good luck, okay? Here we go. Same thing, second time's a charm. Nice, breathe in. Breathe out. One more time here. Great. Okay, let's move on to the upper half now. So we're going to do basically the same thing, but we're changing one of the variables, which is the part of the bow. We're now going to do just that upper half. So placing my bow on my sticker, and just to review, upper half, the hand is coming out more in front of the body. So when we play sort of a crooked bow, usually what is happening is that the elbow is like kind of more to the side over here, but we really don't want that. We really want to be right in front of our body. If anything, I think that like erring on the side of a little too much is probably better than not quite enough. So let's just practice each string again like we did in the lower half. So we're going to do the D string here. Okay. Breathing in, breathe out. So in the upper half, you want to lean into that index finger quite a bit more. We get a lot of power and control from there. So if you'll notice, I'm sort of wrapping my index finger around quite a lot. Still want to be right in the middle there of that for that straight bow contact point between the bridge and the fingerboard. Here I'm leaning on the hair, on the side of the hair away from me, but the hair looks a little bit more flat, but that doesn't mean I'm not leaning in that direction. Okay, let's move on to the G string now. Here we go. Breathe in. Relax. So here you might feel like, wow, like the arm is really higher now than it was before. Still keeping the arm in front of the body for a nice straight bow towards the tip here. Leaning into that index finger. Just gonna do this for a little bit. You want to take a couple steps side to side. If you're standing, you want to be really balanced on your feet. Try not to just lean it on one foot or the other. You want to be really in line with your center of gravity. Okay, now let's go ahead for that A string. So if you'll see, whoa, my arm is moving quite a lot here as I go to different strings. Breathe in, out. Don't forget to breathe while you're playing. It's really important to make sure that you relax. So trying to keep that index finger nice and solid on your bow hand so that your bow is in the middle of that, area between your bridge and the fingerboard. And if you notice, I'm like literally looking down. So I would recommend that you just sort of check out what you're doing there. It's also really great to play in front of a mirror if you have access to one. Bathrooms do tend to sound awesome in terms of their acoustics. So don't be afraid to break out your instrument and play in the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror and make sure that you're doing what you're intending to do. Okay, now let's move on to the C string. Okay, same thing here. This one is a little tricky. Look how high my arm is. And like when we're here, sometimes I feel like I have the feeling of like my shoulder is really low and my hand is really high. It's not exactly, but it does kind of feel like that. So just like make sure that you're not hiking up your shoulder like this when you go to the string. You want to maintain your sort of, square shoulders happening here. Okay, here we go. Nice deep breath in. Breathe out. So this C string is pretty thick and requires a lot of weight. So you don't want to be pressing or hanging. Hang from your frog, with your hand on the frog at least, through all of your fingers. You can sort of imagine it like your hand and your body is kind of like a wet noodle and you're just like hanging on like a clothesline or something. But that is sort of the feeling where the instrument is holding up the weight of your bow and also you leaning into the instrument, and that should help you get like a nice rich C string tone. Well, that's good. Maybe you want to shake it out. We just did a fair amount of playing just then. give it a little shake, maybe move the feet around a little bit. And now we're gonna do our open string song with the upper half. Okay, here we are. Good job. Way to stick with it. You're doing so good. This stuff is not easy. Okay, so here we go. Open string song, upper half. Don't forget to go through your checklist before you get started. When I say checklist, I mean like our fingers and like more too. You want to be checking over your whole body, but like start with your hand at least. Here with your thumb, nice and curved, pinky nice and curved, shoulder down, nice, good square posture. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go for it. I've got my sticker here to tell me where to start. Okay, ready, nice, breathe in. Okay, let's do it again. Second time's charm. Okay, setting everything up and maybe you could think about things that went well and things that like kind of maybe moved around a bit. A lot of times when we're playing, we start in one place and then we kind of end in another. So just make a note of it and just be a little bit more careful of that when you're playing. You can kind of scoot around a little bit. Don't be afraid to stop and reset if you need to. That's also excellent because you don't want to be practicing in like a weird form. You know, you want to make sure everything is kind of lining up when you're doing it. Okay, here we go. Nice, breathe in. Out. Okay, great. Well, we just did our upper half and our lower half. And you know, I think it's good to stick with those, but it's hard for me not to just give you a little bit more. So let's just go ahead and do our whole bow and put it together. Sometimes it feels good just to like go for it, you know? So here we are. Let's just do the whole bow now, just to see what it feels like. And if you want to just stick with the upper half and lower half specifically, separately, great. It's so good for you to do that. So go ahead, stop the video. You don't have to do this today. This practice session would be good for really weeks. So feel free to watch this over and over again. And then as you feel more comfortable, you can level up and do the whole bow here. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that so it's included in the video. Okay, here we are. So when I'm doing this, I'm really thinking about, okay, from the shoulder, elbow comes out, now elbow's more steady and I'm opening and I'm closing. And my hand is in front of my belly button, it's not out here. My pinky is nice and curved. My thumb is nice and curved. Okay, here we go. Nice deep breath in. Relax your shoulder. Okay, maybe one more time, just to keep it even. Okay, here we go. Nice, breathe in. Practice makes perfect, you know? Make sure you're breathing. And you should have the feeling like your bow is glued to your string. Try not to lift it. Feel heavy. Lean into that index finger in the upper half of the bow. Curve that pinky as you get to the lower half of the bow. When you go for that string crossing, just raise your elbow just a little bit, and it should be there. It's just a really small difference there. Nice and heavy on that C string, leaning into that index finger. Okay, that's it. Well, thanks so much for practicing with me. And feel free to listen to this or watch this a few times, or even review the lesson 1 video that goes along with this practice session. So excellent job. You're on your way. Okay, see you next time. Bye.